prickly of a personality. Charlie Day, Ringo Starr, Mr. Also Important at Roto World.
Patrick Daugherty from Roto World. It's RotoPat. Hi.
I've got one of the coveted post-bedtime slots. I'm really excited to be here. And you've got powerhouse cat. I mean, Denny Carter, Andy Behrens, they're my fierce rivals.
I know.
But just amazing people and amazing group. Very, very privileged to be a part of it.
Well, I saw you guys all talking trash on Twitter about your respective appearances and like comparing who got the best time slot and who, it seemed very angry. You just felt very angry.
Yeah, they didn't know that I had first choice. I mean, I could have come on anytime I wanted. And I'm just the world's best father, obviously. So I do it after my kids are asleep, after my wife's had all the help she needs. So, yeah, that's why I'm team 10:20 Eastern.
You are Team 10:20 Eastern. Well, I don't know if you heard Jamie just now, but he was like, the whole plan of him going at 10 is he thought his kids would be asleep and they're not.
Yeah, that is the thing about kids' bedtime plans. It's kind of why the cliche best laid plans. We got hit in the mouth tonight, too. We had a plan until my son got up 10 minutes after I left the room. So I'm hoping they have that under control. I'm down.
Oh, sorry. How are you occupying yourself during these times of staying home?
Well, it's odd because I've been staying home every day for 9 years as a remote employee of NBC Sports and Roto World. But the difference is, of course, now my wife is working from home. My kids are no longer going to grandma's in the morning, and so we are all here. And we're very lucky. We're in a very privileged position. I can't complain, but. Learning how to juggle with my wife still getting to do work, with the kids, making sure we're not just sitting the kids down in front of the TV all day. It's been a struggle, but relative to other people's struggles, we've been very fortunate. So,
yeah. I mean, my struggle is I'm bored today. Like, struggle, right? I mean, there are people watching who are having a lot harder time than we are. A lot of people who are laid off or partially laid off who we're just trying to help forget for a little while, and I just said it, so now they're not forgetting. But hopefully, it was a great show for the first 2 hours and 24 minutes, and then Harris decided to open his big mouth, which kind of is a theme in my life. So Patrick, Pat, P, Roto,
Charlie Day, Ringo Starr.
Charlie Day, Ringo Starr. Could I be any weirder with the topic that I asked you? Because you were like, cool, I'm going to come on Harris's thing and talk football. And I was like, wait a minute. No. Will you come on and talk about TV? And you were like, I watch TV. You love it, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my, I like food. I like sleeping. I like TV. A lot of unique habits, unique hobbies for me. But I never turned down a chance to talk football or culture, though. I would like to think I'm a cultured person, and probably not. But I was game for the topic for sure.
So the idea again. So we've talked movies with cousin Josh. We've talked music with Mitch, and we're going to talk TV shows with you. Again, the thought process was people are home and they have to occupy their days, and there's a lot of bad stuff going on, and maybe we could offer some suggestions of series that we really like or liked when they were on. As with the other guys, I didn't really give a lot of criteria. I was just like, whatever you want to recommend that you like is fantastic. If you want to wrap a theme around it, that's great. If you don't, totally cool. Probably some people watching are going to be like, oh, I've seen that. But hopefully we're each going to go back and forth with 5, hopefully out of the 10. If everybody's seen all 10, we failed.
We have failed. My favorite TV show is sports, writ large. So that's been a challenge. That's the worst. There's not even any couch cushion sports. There's no bailout sports right now. That's just the weirdest thing. There's no European soccer. There's no cricket or anything. There's just no escape. I'm a huge expert. I didn't have cable growing up, so I'm a huge expert on 90s NBC sitcoms. If we want to talk about Third Rock from the Sun, News Radio, Veronica's Closet.
Do we want to talk about those?
No, we don't. And I've seen probably every episode of all of them, but it's been over 20 years. Yeah, don't need to really revisit The Third Rock from the Sun. Even though that was an NBC show, so it's just amazing because it was on NBC.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a little kid, right?
He was.
Actually, I've met him a few. We have mutual friends. I'm in LA. Like I hang, man. I've met him.
Yeah, Joey Gord. That's where he that's where he got famous. Yeah.
He was like, fantasy what? When I met him, he was like, oh, cool. Anyway,
if I have to make a serious recommendation, this was a show that kind of like became part of the zeitgeist last year. Probably by far my favorite show of the past year was I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson on Netflix. The sketch comedy series. I don't know if you have watched it or not, but I'm a fan. Of kind of like absurdist. It's very very aggressive. It's definitely not. It's escalation humor. But I kind of, no offense to like The Office and Parks and Rec, I was kind of over like awkward situation humor. I was kind of like ready for a return to like aggressive, like repressed Midwestern anger humor. And Tim Robinson is from Michigan. There's a very strong like repressed Midwestern anger, maybe Catholic anger in there. And so I really identified with it and just thought it was like an absolutely hilarious show.
Very funny. I admit it. I mean, it's abrasive.
It's very abrasive, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like, if you don't like escalate, like every skit, every skit's like a 10-step program of escalation to step 2, step 3, step 4, and that is not everyone's cup of tea. True. But too, I've been, I'm a dad now. Like, I don't get to consume quite as much stuff. I had been running low on like new like inside joke material with my friends and stuff, and from the monoculture, and I Think You Should Leave has helped kind of replenish the coffers there.
There's not a lot of sharp edges in your life, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Some sharp edges. All right, so I'll start with mine, and I recognize that I'm definitely recommending canon type shows, people that people really really like. So I'm not going very obscure. I have some more obscure ones that I could give sort of for honorable mentions that I will at the end. But I feel like if people haven't watched The Americans. And I think a lot of people didn't watch The Americans on FX.
I did not.
Yeah, it only ended like a year or two ago. And it's just, if it's not the greatest show of the last decade, it's in the top 5, I think. It's so great. And I could have, I didn't say those golden. I didn't do Sopranos. I didn't do The Wire. I didn't do, and they're all great too. You should watch those too. And I'm sorry if I just stole I shouldn't be.
No, it's fine.
But like The Americans is going to be considered that, I think. I think we're going to look back on The Americans and go, oh, that was one of the greatest shows, and it's a great ending, and it's so brilliantly written, brilliantly acted, great tension, but also great characters. It's about a pair of, I'm not giving anything away, it's given away in the pilot, a pair of seeming Americans who are actually working for Soviet Union in the 70s, and you find yourself oddly rooting for them, and it puts you in the viewer as in a very awkward position. It's great.
I've heard nothing but good things. I was probably too busy watching completely pointless like New Orleans Pelicans, Utah Jazz games when it was on. But that is definitely on the list for me.
Well, now it's on the list. Now I've put it back on the list. You need to watch it. What do you have? What else?
If I was going to recommend an accidental documentary, this is fairly obscure. It's not actually a documentary, but it was a somewhat obscure HBO co-production with one of the British networks last summer. Can't remember which one, like Studio Canal or something, or Canal 1, whatever those Euro stations are called Years and Years. It was a limited series, just 6 episodes about basically just the next 15 years in England or kind of like the Western world.
It's fiction, though, right? It's a pseudo-documentary.
It's not a documentary at all. I just meant like it's like feels unfortunately real sometimes.
Right.
And it's very just kind of not subtle show about the current times, but I think that's good sometimes. We're very into subtlety, which I'm not saying that's bad. I am too, but a very blunt instrument show about kind of like the current times we are living in, and just about like creeping nationalism, like techno, like just the weird technology and everything. And it's not like a very like the most uplifting show, but I just found it to be a very great comment on the modern times. And I feel like not enough people saw it. So Years and Years would be my next recommendation.
I didn't watch it all the way through, but I definitely know what you mean. It's so funny. Like, do you find yourself there's so much content on TV and or all the streaming channels or whatever? I'll be like, I really liked that, and then realize 3 years later I never watched the rest of it.
Yeah, and not just like so much content, but seemingly so much like actually good content.
Yeah,
The ultimate first world problem is that there's too much good TV to watch, and I have not seen a lot of it. So it's one of those. There's only so much time in the world, so I can see why people missed it. But if you're dying for something to watch, I would recommend Years and Years.
All right, so another British show just ended. Got the second season. Got a lot of pub. I still don't think a lot of people have seen Fleabag. Did you watch Fleabag?
Amazing. I did actually watch Fleabag, and absolutely amazing.
So it's just. It's obviously, speaking of zeitgeist, it's very much in the zeitgeist. And Phoebe Waller-Bridges won. What did she win? Was it an Emmy? I don't even know what she won.
What an Emmy, yes. Hosted SNL, did a rewrite of the new James Bond movie.
So she's a big deal now. She did Killing Eve, right? I think she
did, yeah.
So she's great, and this one, she's the actress in addition to the writer and the creator. And like, I think a lot of people have seen it because it was in the news. But if you didn't, it's just one of those shows. Man, it's fantastic, and it's so raunchy and just funny and awkward and mean and great. And yet, the reason I think it's great for right now is there's a lot of grief underneath it, but it's not. It doesn't wear it on its sleeve at all. It'll every so often it'll punch you a little bit, but mostly you'll just have fun. And I think fun is great. It's serious, but it's fun.
Yes, very wry, very incisive. It's kind of like a weird collision of like kind of like awkward humor and kind of like more like kind of some escalation humor. She's constantly getting into situations and making them worse, but yeah, a lot of big undercurrent of sadness, but mostly more triumphant sadness, the right kind of sadness. And you come out of it. You do come out of it. It's not an endless pit. End of the series, you come out of it. And it's just amazingly funny. It's the most
very
important.
Funny.
Just extremely funny.
Let's keep it going. What do you have the third on your list?
So if we're going to talk about trendy shows, the trendy show that I really got into last year was Succession.
I was almost
HBO's.
You told me you were going to have it on there. I almost started playing the.
Yeah. I just I love just everything about. I mean, like a lot of people have made this comparison. It's not like a good. It is almost kind of like Boardroom, Game of Thrones. A lot of pathos. Hopefully, I'm even. Is that how you pronounce pathos? Even I'm assuming it is. Yeah, a lot of that, like a lot of family Shakespearean drama.
Where, if in Shakespeare everybody was an a-hole.
Yes, exactly, and no one is really that rootable. But too, I love too. It's very serialized, but it's almost kind of more old-fashioned too, where the episodes kind of actually stand alone. We've gotten so not like totally. It's still a very serialized show, but kind of like less serialized than some shows are these days, where it's not like you can kind of like jump in and out of. Obviously, you should watch it in order, but it's not so much. A lot of shows now are kind of almost long movies, and this is kind of more of like a traditional show. I feel like in terms of just each episode's kind of its own little self-contained world, and just such high drama. Really is the main reason.
The premise, if people have, it is a zeitgeist show right now. But if you haven't caught up with Succession, the premise is essentially Fox News, like the Murdoch family of Fox News, like behind the scenes.
Yes,
what it's like.
Yeah, not very subtle. Yeah,
but very darkly funny. I'm gonna go quicker. Have you seen Atlanta, the Donald Glover show?
I've seen season 1 and season 2, episode 1 of season 2 with Alligator Man, and another one of those classic like. Absolutely amazing show, but like you, I loved it, and then just for some reason haven't watched it for like a year.
It's just so great. And season 3 is supposed to be coming relatively. Who knows anymore because everything is delayed.
Season 3 and 4 at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but who even knows?
He's a genius, and that show is absolute genius. Ern. You just love that guy, and what a a-hole he is.
Every main character is so funny on that show too, and another show with a big undercurrent of sadness, but like that doesn't overtake the show by any means. Just amazingly funny, and again, very of the moment.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
You feel like you're watching 21st Century America when you watch Atlanta.
Indeed. Go ahead. Next.
back to me. I'll dip into the canon, and a canon show I didn't watch the first time around that I've been very slowly making my way through over like the past 2 years is 30 Rock. And I don't know if you've watched 30 Rock.
It's on my list. It's my number 4.
It was my number 4 too. So we can talk about 30 Rock. Some of it has aged a little bit already, but to me, when I view 30 Rock as basically like the live action Simpsons compared to like when the Simpsons was good, of course. Where just like every moment, there's no joke that's passed up. The whole show, it's almost like animated in that regard, where it's just nonstop jokes.
Like if you didn't do 30 Rock when it was on, if you were a little young, or if you just missed it and you sort of weren't into it, you're like, Tina Fey, nah. Alec Baldwin, nah. Like, trust me when I tell you, you'll just blindly laugh. You'll just think it's funny and you won't think all that much. It's a great show for just like, let's stream a bunch of seasons and not think and just laugh.
It is.
The jokes per minute and the quality of those jokes per minute, there's maybe never been anything like it in live action TV.
No, it's true. It really is. It's like The Simpsons. Like very few live action shows even attempt like that joke ratio. And I mean, so many extremely funny people. I mean, Tina Fey is like one of the funniest people of all time. And Tracy Morgan is maybe the most gifted comedian ever at saying something other than you were expecting him to say. Just absurdly funny.
It is very funny. All right, so we both had 30 Rock. We both have one more. What do you got?
Should I go with most of them? My favorite normie show ever was probably Game of Thrones. I'm just gonna throw it out there. If you haven't done it yet, everyone has done it. But yeah, my favorite normie. It's not that it's a normie show. It just became so popular, and it became more normie as it went along. Unfortunately, the first 4.
The problem recommending Game of Thrones, though, is you have to recommend they watch the last season.
So I recommend the first 4 seasons very robustly. Yeah. Seasons 5 and 6, sort of. And in individual moments of the final season, but
it's so bad.
Truly is the least satisfying ending probably in the history of Western entertainment.
So bad. Let me flip it around. I would have a hard time recommending Game of Thrones, I have to say, but I'll flip around. Did you watch The Leftovers?
I did not, and that's another one where like no reason I should not have seen it, but
it's digestible. It's 3 seasons, so you're not committing. 30 Rock is a bunch of seasons, but then again, it's also not continuous story. You can pick up any 30 Rock episode; it doesn't matter. You're going to want to watch The Leftovers all the way through. The last episode of the Juggernaut that I ever did was with Tom Prada and Damon Lindelof, right when The Leftovers was ending. So I talked to them on their media tour, and I was like, I don't need to do this podcast. Awesome. It's just, and that's not why I like it. It's just great. It's absolutely great. The premise of The Leftovers, again, bleak, and it's a serious show. And so maybe if you're not in the mood for something heavy, I could see doing 30 Rock instead. But the premise is just like some fraction of the population is just gone. They just vaporize, they disappear. And nobody ever knows why. It's never explained. We never find out. And I'm not ruling anything by saying that because it's the premise of the book and it's the premise of the show. And it's like, what happens after? These are the leftovers. Like, what happens next? And it's funny but very serious, but sad, but really super unbelievably well acted. Carrie Coon, oh my God, she's amazing. Justin Theroux.
I heard the final season in particular is amazing too. If I'm not mistaken.
Better. 1 is good, 2 is even better, 3 is the best.
That's what I've heard.
Fantastic. Did you have others that you were tossing over that you were thinking of?
No, I mean it was tough. I mean, if I was going to go with a truly mindless show, a show that's probably aged amazingly poorly. One of my joke shows was basically going to be 24. I used to watch 24.
Liz Loza. Liz Loza show. That's like in the fantasy business we call it the Liz Loza show.
24 like aged poorly in real time, so I can kind of only imagine going back and watching some of it. Probably a lot of capital P problematic things with 24. Yeah. I'm assuming. But talk about good mindless television. 24.
So like the golden age shows, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Deadwood. Watch them. They're great. I just don't feel like you need people to tell you to watch those. They were already on your list or not. I just watched Mindhunter, the 2 seasons of Mindhunter. I wouldn't say it's like amazing. It was really good. I was entertained all the way through. I was going to say Archer, if you want mindless.
Archer is amazing. And talk about jokes per minute. And talk about like highbrow humor mixed also with extreme highbrow humor mixed with like the lowest of lowbrow humor. My criticism of Archer is that it never got unfunny. But, like after 5 or 6 seasons, like, you know what? I get the point. I think the mission statement, it's been accomplished. You've accomplished all you're going to accomplish with the show.
And I talked to Adam Reed on the Juggernaut too, and he was also a super, super nice guy. He voices Ray, so you feel like you're talking to Ray when you're talking to Adam Reed. And it was clear he was kind of and so these last seasons have been standalone. Like he's in a mystery story. He's in a pirate story because exactly what you said. And then lastly, and I got to let you go because we got to keep going, but did you remember a series on FX, one season called Terriers?
I do not, actually.
Look it up. It was only one season.
Dogs.
It's not really about dogs, no. But it has dog theme to it. Donald Logue is the it was when they were trying to make him a lead actor, and he was really good in it. It's Terriers. I'll just say, for one season, it kind of does. They thought they were going to have more seasons, but it stands as one season. Check out Terriers. Pat, we're long. I'm sorry. I got to get going, but you're the best for doing this, dude. I really appreciate it.
It's really my pleasure.
I'll talk to you soon, okay? Thank you so much for doing it. Be well.
You too. Thanks for raising this money.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment. Tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on. And of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.